Welcome to the Krishna Katha Book Club, October 2024, with readings from Part 3 of the Nectar of Devotion. We have already delved just a little bit into the two great oceans of the Nectar of Devotion, the Eastern and Southern Oceans, for Parts 1 and 2. Here, in Part 3, we will sprinkle on our heads water droplets from the great Western Ocean. The Western Ocean covers chapters 35 to 44 with 5 waves that describe the 5 primary loving relationships between the living entity and Sri Krishna. As Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada describes in Chapter 7 of his book, The Perfection of Yoga, which was first published in 1974. There are 5 basic rasas, or relationships, in which we are eternally related to God. When we are actually in the liberated stage of knowledge, we can understand that our relationship with the Lord is in a particular rasa. That platform is called Swarup Siddhi, or real self-realization. Everyone has an eternal relationship with the Lord, either as master and servant, friend and friend, parent and child, husband and wife, or lover and beloved. These relationships are eternally present. The whole process of spiritual realization and the actual perfection of yoga is to revive our consciousness of this relationship. At present, our relationship with the Supreme Lord is perversely reflected in this material world. No relationship in this material world is actual or eternal. We must always remember that these ephemeral relationships are simply perverted reflections of that eternal relationship we have with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now, let us begin exploring the 5 waves of the boundless Western Ocean. The first wave describes the stage of devotional service to the Lord in the mood of Santa Rasa, neutrality. At this stage, the living entity appreciates the eternal transcendental form of the Lord and is completely pacified and untouched by any material condition. They appreciate the Lord in awe and veneration, but the desire to serve the Lord has not appeared. Here is one example in chapter 35 of devotees in Santarasa. It is said that when Lord Krishna was blowing his conch shell, known as Panchajanya, many great sages who were living in the caves of the mountains immediately reacted, being awakened from their trance of meditation. They immediately saw that the hairs on their bodies were standing. The second wave describes the relationship just above neutrality, transcendental affection in servitude. Devotees engaged in servitude are attached to Krishna in the affection of reverence. Here is an example given in chapter 36. Some of the inhabitants of Gokula, Vrindavan, as exhibited on earth, are attached to Krishna on this platform of affection in reverence. The inhabitants of Vrindavan used to say, "Krishna is always manifest before us with a complexion like a blackish cloud. He holds his wonderful flute in his lotus hands. He is dressed in yellow silks and bedecked with a peacock feather on his head." When Krishna walks near Govardhan Hill with these personal features, all the inhabitants of the heavenly planets, as well as the inhabitants of this earth, feel transcendental bliss and consider themselves the eternal servants of the Lord. A description of the third wave of the Western Ocean is given as fraternal devotion. Fraternal devotion means being friends with Krishna, and these friends are referred to as Vasas. There is a description in chapter 41. There is the following prayer by a devotee for the Vasas in Vrindavan. All glories to Krishna's friends who are just like Krishna in their age, qualities, pastimes, dress and beauty. They are accustomed to playing on their flutes made of palm leaves, and they all have buffalo horn bugles ornamented like Krishna's with jewels such as Indranila and with gold and coral. They are always jubilant like Krishna. May these glorious companions of Krishna always protect us. Within Gokula Vrindavan, Krishna's Vasas are generally divided into 4 groups. 1. Well-wishers. 2. Friends. 3. Confidential friends. And 4. Intimate friends. 1. Krishna's well-wisher friends are a little bit older than Krishna, and they have some parental affection for him. 2. Friends who are younger than Krishna, who are always attached to him and who gave him all kinds of service, are simply called friends. 3. The more confidential friends are called Priya Sakhas and are almost Krishna's age. Because of their very confidential friendship, their behavior is only on the basis of pure friendship. Of all of these confidential friends, Sri Dharma is considered to be the chief. 4. There are other friends who are still more confidential. They are called Priya Nama, or intimate friends. These include Subala and Arjuna. There is a nice example of the friendship between Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. When the fighting was going on, Asvatthama, the son of Dronacharya, unceremoniously attacked Krishna, although according to the prevailing rules of chivalry, one's chariot driver should never be attacked by the enemy. But Asvatthama behaved heinously in so many ways that he did not hesitate to attack Krishna's body, although Krishna was acting only as a charioteer for Arjuna. When Arjuna saw that Asvatthama was releasing various kinds of arrows to hurt Krishna, he immediately stood in front of Krishna to intercept all of the arrows. At that time, although Arjuna was being harmed by those arrows, he felt an ecstatic love for Krishna, and the arrows appeared to him like showers of flowers. Descriptions of the fourth wave, parenthood, begins in chapter 43. When ecstatic love develops into the relationship of parenthood and becomes steadily established, the relationship is called Vatsalya Rasa. The exhibition of this Vatsalya Rasa standard of devotional service can be found in the dealings of Krishna with his devotees who represent themselves as superior personalities like father, mother, teacher, etc. Following is a list of respectful personalities who enjoy parental affection toward Krishna. 1. Mother Yasoda. 2. Maharaj Nanda. 3. Mother Rohini. 4. All the elderly gopis whose sons were taken away by Lord Brahma. 5. Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. 6. The other 15 wives of Vasudeva. 7. Kunti, the mother of Arjuna. 8. Vasudeva, the father of Krishna. And 9. Sandapani Muni, Krishna's teacher. This list is in order, and we can see that Mother Yasoda and Maharaj Nanda are considered to be the supermost of all elderly personalities. There is the following description of Mother Yasoda's affection for Krishna. After rising early in the morning, Mother Yasoda first of all offered her breast milk to Krishna, and then she began to chant various mantras for his protection. Then she would decorate his forehead very nicely and bind his arms with protective talismans. By all of these activities, it is definitely understood that she is the emblem of all maternal affection for Krishna. The description of Nanda Maharaj's bodily features is as follows. The hairs on his head are generally black, but some of them are grey. His garments are of greenish colour, like the newly grown leaves of a banyan tree. His belly is fatty. His complexion is exactly like the full moon, and he has a beautiful moustache. When Krishna was a baby, one day he was walking in the courtyard, capturing the finger of his father, and because he could not walk steadily, he appeared to be almost falling down. While Nanda Maharaj was giving protection to his transcendental son in this way, all of a sudden there were drops of tears in his eyes, and he became overwhelmed with joy. Let us all offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of King Nanda. The fifth wave begins in chapter 44 with the introductory paragraph. A pure devotee's attraction to Krishna in conjugal love is called devotional service in conjugal love. Persons who are interested only in material activities are unable to understand this spiritual conjugal love, and these devotional reciprocations appear very mysterious to them. Further on in chapter 44 it is written, in the Gita Govinda by Jayadev Goswami, one gopi tells her friend, Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure within this universe. His body is as soft as the lotus flower, and his free behaviour with the gopis, which appears exactly like a young boy's attraction to a young girl, is a subject matter of transcendental conjugal love. A pure devotee follows in the footsteps of the gopis and worships the gopis as follows. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto all the young cowherd girls, whose bodily features are so attractive. Simply by their beautiful, attractive features, they are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Out of all the young gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most prominent. When the lover and beloved come together and enjoy one another by direct contact, this stage is called Sambhoga. There is a statement in the Padyavali as follows. Krishna embraced Srimati Radharani in such an expert manner that he appeared to be celebrating the dancing ceremony of the peacocks. Chapter 44 concludes. Sri Rupa Goswami thus ends the 5th wave of his ocean of the nectar of devotion. He offers his respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared as Gopal, the eternal form of the Lord. Namaste. The upcoming November Krishna Katha Book Club will conclude our readings from the Nectar of Devotion with Part 4 and the Great Northern Ocean.